once again, thank you for being here.
My brother, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure with you.
Absolutely. You were just telling me about how crazy your week's been and the collaborations you're going to start.
Yeah. So, since we met over the past 2 weeks, I did a short film last weekend, like I told you about. This past Saturday, I had a photo shoot. I've been creating with content creators, for social media, create some comical content,
Oh, you're doing comedy too? Or like?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Nice.
I'm an actor, voiceover artist. I do music. So truly, I'm rounded in the arts. I'm a fan. I'm a student. And, I'm a jack of all and master of all.
Nice. Do you do stand open mics and stuff?
I have not yet. I've actually done open mic before, for poetry, a long time ago. And I actually want to get back into that soon for poetry, even with music as well, because I've been taking singing classes for the past year. So I've really been expanding my instrument with that as well. So I'd love to get into that soon. And even for stand-up too. And again, I respect the craft. I honor the craft. So I would love to be a student to study it and practice it.
It's good shit, man. It's good networking. It's good practice. It's good. If you can make people laugh, I used to do it, very short time, but I used to do it many years ago. And my buddy took off with it. He continued it. I was going through a whole divorce and, that whole problem and shit. But Ian Edwards, he was like, "You're going through a divorce?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, that sounds like great content to do stand-up comedy and stuff." But it was just so stressful that I walked away. But one of the places that I used to do open mics is they would do poetry too.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot the name of the place. There was one in Van Nuys and one in North Hollywood.
And that's the thing, too, about being an artist and being a creator, such as yourself, no matter the realm you're in, no matter the platform. The thing about being an artist and a creative is you have to grow through, and I say that intentionally, grow through the university of life.
Right.
So you have a great understanding. So you have compassion. So you have content, whether it be comedy or radio or podcast, film, television, music, what have you. You have to grow through the university of life.
Yeah.
Hence, that would make great content for the comedy.
Yeah.
And the dope thing, too, about comedy and stand-up is, it's such an intellectual, creative craft.
It really is.
You know what I mean? And, comedy is medicine. And you have to really know and master the art of being real, but coming off lighthearted and funny.
Right.
And with being real, you're like a mirror to other people in life. You know what I mean? You're really telling people about themselves and about the world that we're in and really opening people's eyes. And it just happens to be in a lighthearted, funny, and comical, fun way. Yeah. So that's something that's very interesting that I've taken from comedy and, of course, stand-up. I respect it.
I got a good friend of mine. He's really my best friend.
Yeah.
And, I've known him for 20 years. And we'll laugh so hard when there's just a stressful time. And, my girl did in that work and I lost the job and the money. We just start laughing like one time we were just, Debbie Downers and shit. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, well, I was raised like this." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, well, I was raised like this." And I was like, "Bro, I didn't even have a fucking father." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, well, my fucking father used to kick my..." And we were competing about who had it worse. And we caught ourselves. We're like, this is the stupidest fucking guy. And we were just laughing so fucking hard.
That's love right there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Being that you can have that conversation, first and foremost, with yourself and with someone who you trust, who you consider your best friend. That's love 100%. Right there. 100%. And to start in like a dark way and to start to get some color and some texture and to laugh at it, laugh at yourself and laugh at it. And the lesson in that, too, is, we shouldn't take ourselves and lives in our life too seriously.
Absolutely.
Because everything is fleeting, the good and the bad. When we're still here, we're still breathing. We still have the capacity to have love and compassion. We still have the capacity to change, to grow, and to do better.
But it's hard. It's hard to. It's the same friend that I'm talking about. He's in Colombia right now, and he just had a ayahuasca experience, and unfortunately, it wasn't that good compared to other times that he's taken it because it's changed the course of his life.
Yes.
But yesterday I was having dinner with a friend of mine. He's a doctor, and I love the way he described of what happens and why people have these changes. And the way that he talked about it, the way he describes it is, he goes, "Look, when you start life in your brain, when you start life, you're at the top of a mountain. And the thing is there's different tracks, okay? And what happens is sometimes people commit to one track and only stay on that track. And sometimes that track is depression or limited, or you can't go past this, or because the color of your skin, or because how you speak English, or because how you pronounce stuff, or because you're a female, or because you're this, and you start getting your track, and that track gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Now this is life. This is your reality. You can't get past this anymore. It's that's it. And what happens is some people take this ayahuasca or these DMTs, or they do these microdoses, and it kind of gets you out of those tracks that you've been living your whole life and limitation your whole life. And you start seeing, wait a minute, I'm doing this to myself. Yeah. I don't have to be on this track. I can just go over there.
Everything was a lie.
Everything was a lie.
Everything was a lie.
And I've had this conversation recently too. It's all a lie. Like, it's a system through the school systems, the government, the way our parents were raised, the way, like,
and it's a cycle, and it's perpetuated, and it's passed down.
It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. So I've always wanted to try ayahuasca, but when I heard it described this way, I was like, this is fucking amazing. Like, who wouldn't want to get out of their tracks, especially if you're a person that's just like, I hate fucking my life, or I hate my color, I hate my eyes, I hate my hair, I hate my shape I'm in, you know? And there's things we could change and there's things we can't. But anyways, I thought that was cool.
No, I love that. And speaking, that's a great segue, because speaking of there's things that we can change and things that we can't, you know, the greatest gift that you can give to yourself, and then from there to give to others, is your love, your compassion, and your presence. If I were to choose one thing, the greatest gift you can give to yourself is presence. The greatest gift you can give to others is your presence. And with the presence comes the compassion and the love. And then from there, you can be in great acceptance and power and glory for you being beautifully and uniquely made.
Yeah.
You know, we are
I agree with
perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know
that used to be in a fucking song, and I love that line.
Yeah.
I think it was Foo Fighters or something, and it was such a beautiful line. I was like, wow, you're so perfectly imperfect.
Yes.
I gotta add this one because it's everywhere. Will Smith, Chris Rock. I'm just curious, man. What's your thought? Because I'm reading comments and it's just like, Jada's sick.
Yeah.
And she just got.
Yeah, you know, I had a feeling we were going to get into that too. And it's such an important conversation. It was an important. Okay, let's backtrack. I believe that everything happens divinely for a reason. The things that are great, the things that are not great. It's an opportunity to open our eyes and to grow from that situation, okay? So the thing that happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock, it was a lot. It was heavy. It was, for me personally, in the black community, very triggering. You know, seeing these men up on stage, you know, seeing one man come down on another man's wife, this man reacting that way, and on a public stage, and obviously people are tearing both men down.
Oscars and everybody,
you know what I mean? And people are also tearing Will Smith down too. And with me, I'm such my energy is. I'd like to say that my energy is very high above water, very high above the clouds, in a very objective view. You know, just looking at everything, and I'm looking at Will Smith as the person, with a spirit and with a heart, with a mind. And in certain moments, you know, logic goes out the window, you know, where we'd like to think that we know how we would handle that situation by the way in which we learned, in which we were indoctrinized on how to act in society, in public, by the way.
Right.
So we'd like to think that we know how we would act. We'd like to say how he should have responded. But the fact is, you know, he was a human in that moment, next to his wife, who is hurting from this situation, and it was commented and, you know, joked on, you know, publicly on that stage. And, you know, he acted, you know, defensively to protect her in that honor. Do I agree that it was, you know, a great, fantastic thing that I would love to see? Absolutely not. I wish that did not happen. However, I do have an understanding and empathy, you know, as a person, you know, with a heart, in that situation, you know, for all people who could possibly be hurting. And, you know, me personally, you know, like I said, it would be nice if it didn't happen, but coming from me, I'm not coming down on Will Smith. I'm not mad at it. I wish that it didn't happen like that on the public stage.
I think for me, the biggest thing is it's just so shocking. Because I grew up to Will Smith, man. Yeah. I know, man. I had every album in 1987, 88, 89. Yeah. You know, he's the first rapper to win the first rap award. Yeah. No, first rap award when MTV created that category. You know, with Parents Just Don't Understand. His movies. I mean, I grew up with Will Smith, like in that sense of watching the TV, the movies, listening to music, everything. It's just shocking because that's not a Will Smith thing
absolutely.
to do.
That's like if Buddha just came and smacked the shit out of somebody. You know, it's 100%. Like what the hell is going on right now? So I get that.
And again, it's deeper, and everybody's facing their demons or whatever.
Yeah, it's so deep. You know, we all eat the same, sleep the same, shit the same. You know what I mean? And the thing about this business and celebrities and people that we adore and admire, they're put on a great high pedestal and they're dehumanized.
Right.
So then, we tend to get shocked at these things as if it's Buddha smacking the shit out of somebody.
Right.
So it's a conversation I had last night with a group of people when I was attending a live Oscar watch party. We have to really get down to what it is to be a human in the heat of a moment. So, that's just a place where I'm coming from, oftentimes, like I said, people that we admire and look up to and celebrities, they're dehumanized.
Yeah.
So, that's just where I'm coming from with compassion. I'm not agreeing that was great that happened. I wish it didn't. I wish I didn't see it. But there's a lot to consider. There's a lot to consider. And these people that we're watching on TV are dehumanized. So they should act a certain way. They should hold their composure. They should basically be.
Let's not forget to bring up how well Chris Rock took it.
Ooh, he took it like a champ.
Hey, he deserves an Oscar for that.
Yeah,
because that ain't no fucking joke.
Yeah, like Will smack the shit out of him.
And the stance, and I do have to talk about that real quick. But Will Smith's stance was fucking gangster, man. That's like.
Yo, the way he walked on stage, the way he smacked the shit out that man.
Yo, man,
that was thugged
right.
out.
It's not right.
That was thugged out. I'm not going to front. I was like, Will handled that like a G.
Like a fucking G, man. And the posture and he never turned his head. He was like,
and even the stills, he looks like a gangster in the stills, too.
Stills, like every angle of that was like, I was like, but Chris Rock took it like a champ.
And I'm glad that, they didn't take, well, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Hopefully nothing happens. But I'm glad that, he still was presented with the award that he was deserved to, receive that night. And I'm glad it was an opportunity to speak, because if he did not have that opportunity to speak, there will be so much more mixed feelings and people tearing him down. They're still tearing him down.
They're still tearing him down.
But at least he had that opportunity to have that speech. And for me, it was so beautiful, so powerful, so raw, so real. And it really just speaks on, again, how we dehumanize these people, and these people are people.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there are mistakes. There are certain things that shouldn't happen. But at the same time, we are all human. We eat, sleep, shit the same. And react in primal moments, in certain cases are valid. That was a major primal moment on that big public stage. But when we take away that stage, when we take away him being a celebrity who we all love and adore, and we get down to what it is to be a human with a heart in that moment, with a loved one who's sitting next to you, who's hurting and who's getting abused, we have to think about that and have just a little bit of compassion.
Yeah.
And just not be too quick to tear that person down. We wouldn't like it for people to be too quick to tear us down in bad moments and to drag us in the mud.
And then last thing on this topic, do you think, because of his action, do you think people are going to try to mess with him more and make more jokes? Like he put himself on that spot, like
Absolutely.
The whole bullying and cancel culture?
Yeah.
Or you think it's like, you know what, I'm just not, don't fuck with Will Smith?
In regards to cancel culture, I really don't see him being canceled. What I do see is him continuing to being dragged and being bullied and being memed, especially in regards to the past year with, his life and his relationship with his wife and everything that's been happening. I think it's just going to add fuel to the fire with people just being bullies and picking on him and just dragging him in those ways. Do I think he'll be canceled?
Not because of that.
Yeah, no, I don't think he'll be canceled, but I think that
Isn't that amazing? Like you could build yourself up for 30 years, 30 plus years, and just 5 seconds.
Yo, that's what it takes. You know, that's another conversation we can have too in society in regards to cancel culture. You know, what is that? Why is it the way that it is? Why are people so quick? And again, you know, people are so quick to judge others, especially those who are put on the pedestal, but it's hard for them to look at themselves. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. We all have our misfortunes. We all have our flaws. And, you know, we're doing our best to get to that big, bright, beautiful place of just undeniable love.
Yeah.
And to win. And we should not only want that for ourselves, but we should want that for each other.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. You know,
we don't. We do. There's too many haters.
Yeah.
There's way too many haters.
Yeah.
I think one of the best superpowers that I should be able to do, but I don't, and it gets to me, is like to convert haterism into energy. Like I wish I could do that, man. Because sometimes I let that shit get to me.
Yeah.
I'll get people that are close to me, and
Yeah.
fucking people start fucking with me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm like, bitch, I just fucking helped you with this, and I did
Yo.
that, and I was there, and this, that,
Yo.
that. And I see the hating, and then it
Yeah.
bothers me afterwards.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why did I let that shit happen?
And you see, because you
Fuck people, and then I get pissed.
Yeah, because you were a human with this human mind, a beautiful, great heart, along with a human ego. And we're balancing our higher self and our human ego in every moment of every day. You know what I mean? And like I said, the things that are unfortunate, the misfortunes, you know, the slips, the falls, the things that don't make us happy, the things that don't make us feel good, they are an opportunity to grow through that situation. Why is this triggering me right now? What do I need to learn from this situation? What do I need to learn from this pain, from this anxiety, from this anger? What do I need to be released? What about this whole situation is mirroring me that I need to address and work on to get better with? And the key word is to get better, because it's a marathon. It's a never-ending journey of growing and learning and doing better. And we'll have moments, we'll have seasons of just beautiful highs. And we'll have the lows.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But do you? Because again, we were talking. We mentioned a little bit of the brainwashing and how this society controls us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think? Okay, you're in great shape.
Yeah.
You're fucking ripped. You
Thank
work out. You fucking. We're gonna talk about your diet, everything else.
Yeah.
Do you think it's bad to show off? Like, kind of, let's just say show off. Is it bad to show off and say, look, I fucking work out. This is how I look. Check this out. People, look at this out. Or do you think that's like, oh, the evil eye and don't brag and people are going to wish hateful shit? They're going to wish hateful shit. But should you care about that or not care about that? Are you private with your stuff, or are you promoting it? Not because you're proud of it, not only because you're proud of it, but you want to encourage people like, hey, look.
Exactly. I do it. You know, that's an amazing, important, big question and great segue into my response. I put myself out there intentionally. You know, it's partially my higher self and my human self being proud of myself. So I should feel good in my own skin. I should feel good looking at myself. I should be able to admire myself rather than seeking validation outside. I should seek it within. And because I have this from within, it seeps through my pores, and people are going to see it. And I will intentionally show it, not just to expand that love for myself, but to also nourish and inspire other people. So we get into doing that with purpose. So I think it's a beautiful, important thing. Now, don't get me wrong. You can do so in a healthy way. You can do so in a non-healthy, toxic, egoic way.
Right.
You know, and there may be a fine line. We'd like to think that we're doing all these things in healthy ways, but there may be some ego here and there.
Right.
And then we talk about society.
But don't you need a fucking little bit of ego?
Oh, absolutely.
Don't you like?
You
like,
do.
I think that's what really separates, people. It's either a little bit of ego or not caring. Like, I don't care. Like, we'll talk about back to the comedian thing. That has to be either ego or I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it because I can. I'm gonna do it because I don't care what anybody says, and this is fun for me.
Absolutely. I think it is important to have a bit of ego. I mean, the whole function of the ego, too, is also to protect yourself.
Right. It's survival and shit.
You know what I mean?
But isn't it weird how we're in a culture that tries to, like,
Yeah. You talk about indoctrination and the culture who just thinks that everything is bad, you know.
Bad.
You know what I mean?
You're a man? Bad. You work out?
Oh,
Bad.
man.
You got an ego?
Oh, man. To talk about emasculation.
Fuck.
Talk about emasculation, you know. It's unhealthy to be fucking masculine and to have testosterone and to be confident. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's fucking terrible.
No,
what's wrong with you?
no.
Conceited. But it's bad. But
You know what I mean? You can be things. You can be these things in an unhealthy way. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, just people just think that it's bad altogether. Like, what are you talking about?
what are you? Yeah, what are you talking about?
Is there an intention to emasculate a powerful man because you're in fear, because you're inferior? What is it? What is it? And speaking about that, I'd also like to talk about the energy between men, all men, and in particular men of color, with competition, inferiority complexes. And I really feel like we should honor each other more. We should love on each other more. We should value and appreciate each other more. We should nourish each other more. We should support each other more. We should admire each other more. You know what I mean? You're not my competition. I'm not your competition. We're each other's allies. Yeah. I want to see you win. You want to see me win.
It's hard.
You know what I mean?
It's hard. I'll give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
I'm Cuban.
Yeah.
The Latin community. I love my Latin community. I love Cuban people. I love Latin people.
Yeah.
But god damn, we're so fucking competitive. And Mexico versus Argentina. I don't like Argentina. I don't like Dominican Republic. I don't like Guatemala. I don't like Salvador. Oh, you're from what part of Colombia? I don't like that part. Oh, you're from Spain? Fuck you.
Yeah.
We're so number one. Number two, no loyalty. Everybody will fuck everybody's girlfriend and fuck you and fuck that. Like there's cheating, there's stepping on each other. There's no loyal partnerships in business. It's kind of what you're saying that it's like, guys, hold on.
What are we doing? Do you realize how much?
If you help me, I will help you. If I help you, just be loyal. You don't have to help me.
And that's also my energy.
Just be loyal.
That's also my energy. I give without asking to receive.
Right.
Out of just the love of my heart. I just want to give you love and I want to see you win. You know what I mean? I want to tell you that you're doing great. I'm fucking proud of you. And if there's anything I can do to assist you, I'm there. You know what I mean?
And that's what it should be about with everybody.
Yeah.
With especially anybody you're going to hang out with or have a drink with or have to do a podcast with.
Yeah.
Minimum, you need a ride, car broke down, whatever the case is.
Absolutely.
But we're in a society that doesn't exist. And then in the Hispanic community, this is rooted back into everybody's mentality, and they turn it into race. They turn it into that Latin person's not that Latin person. Latin education. It's disgusting.
There's so much, and it's inherited because it really goes back generations.
And then your parents do it. It goes back generations. Like there's a lot of LA Latinos. Actually, like okay. We had an incident in the sauna where that guy was hilarious.
Yeah.
Where you're talking about, my body's a temple and I don't want to put shit in my toxic temples. And, I don't fuck with my sleep schedule unless it's work related. And this guy's like, sex. But you got to do it for sex.
He's like, what about sex?
What? Nobody's even talking to
you. So random. So random. We were having this important, beautiful, free-flowing conversation. And he's just like, but what about sex, though? And he just wouldn't stop.
No, he says, and sex.
Oh, yeah, and sex. like, don't forget about that.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. And we're like, man. What? And he's like, if you're horny in the middle of that, like, dude, like if you have control of your, like, I think Seinfeld had an episode. What was the name of that episode? Control of your domain.
Yeah.
They made a bet, where they were like, let's see who has control of their domain. And, and that was the whole episode. And it was just hilarious.
I got to watch this episode. I haven't seen it.
Oh, man. It's funny. Like some of them couldn't think properly. They couldn't work properly. They're like, master of your domain. I think that's the name of the episode. Very funny.
I need to watch that.
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
But it was hilarious. And this, we're talking about being masters of our domain and focus and game and, then... Like that's not even on the agenda. That's like family and myself and self-improvement and nutrition and smoking or non-smoking, caffeine, non-caffeine, and that got brought up. But anyways, my point is that that's what like the Latin community is. It's like sex, 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 sex. It's like, guys, let's succeed. Let's help each other out. Sex, 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 sex. And no loyalty. There's very little loyalty. I know a lot of Armenian cats, and I don't want to say they don't have that, but they are very tribal.
Okay.
They are very tribal.
Okay.
And they will do whatever they need to do to get what they want.
Yeah.
Together. And they'll fuck over everybody. They'll fuck over everybody, and they'll do fucked up things here and fucked up things there to everybody else. But within their community, they will do it together as a tribe.
Yes.
Even if they just met. You know, if they say, hey, man, you're from, oh, me too. Hey, let's work together.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's the only people I've seen it happen with.
Yo, and that's a mentality that we should actually all adopt. You know, we were speaking about loyalty and just, you know, just sex, and not working together on competition and not liking each other. Do you realize how much damage we would do if we got together?
Oh, it'd be scary.
If we wanted to see each other win and got together, how much damage we would do? It
would change the world.
You see what I'm saying?
It would change the world.
And they don't want that. You know, these motherfuckers
Who's they?
These motherfuckers, the powers that be, these motherfuckers in control of all this bullshit, especially the media. They don't want that
media, shit. Government.
You see, yes, media.
Fucking the big families.
Yes.
They want division.
They want that division.
Shit. There's right now people probably watching this, once I publish this, that are going to be like, oh, freedom's on the right side of the table.
Oh, yeah.
And Robert's on the left side. Fuck the right side. It's all about the left side. No, fuck any way to divide it.
Absolutely.
Vegan, fuck vegan.
Yeah.
Meat eater, fuck meat eater. Oh, fucking fitness, you're fit, fuck that. Fat, and like anything by area code, zip code, block. Anything.
Yo, everybody is just, let me not say everybody, but a lot of people are in their own world.
Most.
With a lens that's filtered with all the bullshit that they experienced, that they were told, taught, and indoctrinized with. And we have to be able to identify that we're wearing this lens and be able to take that motherfucker off and start seeing things.
It's back to the track.
Yeah.
It's back. They said, this is the track you're going to take and stay on it. It's the same shit.
Yes, and we have to watch, you know, speaking of vegan, you know, we have to watch what we consume and not just food. I'm talking about everything in regards to energy, you know, who we talk to, you know, who we have our energy dances with, what we consume, you know, in media, how we consume it. Are you able to ask yourself questions? Are you able to ask questions outside of yourself? Have you forgotten that you are a free being, you know, who has a free will and who can question? Or are you just absorbing and taking it as doctrine? So, you know, a lot of people have to ask themselves that question.
It's crazy how we stay in our bubble and don't leave it. I'll give you two statistics that I thought that blew my mind. Statistic number one was 72% of Americans never been to the beach. Think about it. You only got two coasts. You know, the rest of the United States doesn't have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at first I was like, get the fuck out of here. And then I was like, damn, that's crazy.
And by the way, you know, the sun is life and nature is life.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
That was statistic number one. Then it got deeper.
Yeah.
It was like over 50 to 60% of people that live in East LA have never been to the beach. They're just stuck in their community.
Yo, what was the percentage? Say that again.
Oh, it was like 50, 60%.
Shit.
Never left East LA to go to the beach.
Shit. Yo, and the beach is right there.
And with traffic and this and that, but they've always been in their community.
Yo.
As a matter of fact, listen to this story. I was driving my car to Vegas, middle of the night. It's like 2:30 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
Front tire, right when you pass Barstow,
yeah,
is like that desert emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
Front tire pops.
Yeah.
All right, call the fucking manufacturer of the car. They're going to send the tow truck. It'll take 2 to 3 hours to get out there. I was like, can I leave the car here if I get a ride? They're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I start calling. I was trying Uber, but I was really in the middle of nowhere. Anyways, long story short, I get a hold of a Barstow taxi company, and this girl answers, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this, that." My wife's talking to her like, "Oh, we'll pay the fee, whatever it is, just come pick us up." She's like, "All right, I'll be there like in an hour and a half." She got there in an hour and a half. 24-year-old girl, nicest girl in the world. Where are you from? Barstow, born and raised. And she said it, born and raised, not proud. And I was like, "Why not proud?" She's like, "It's just boring. It's just boring." And her story was crazy because it's like her mom died at birth, when she was born, and then her dad just died right now from COVID.
Yeah.
So she's by herself in Barstow. And I was like, "Have you ever been to LA?" She's like, "Once when I was like 8. And I was like, "Really? You live in Barstow and you only been in LA once?" And she's like, "Yeah. What I remember, it was just so crazy. I never wanted to go back."
Okay.
And I'm like, "This is 2 hours away." Like,
just 2 hours away. She's
yeah,
only been there one
Barstow,
time.
she's only one time when she was
One
8,
time.
and she was 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
So there's people that never have left their hometown.
That is a big
don't
fact.
know nothing other than what their school taught them or what their
That-
fucking community taught them.
Yeah.
And this is
And it's all bullshit, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
The school system is all bullshit, by the way.
Terrible. It's
Yeah.
it's the biggest bullshit that
Yeah.
exists,
Yeah.
especially the universities and everything
Yeah.
else. It's terrible. And I went to Pepperdine and paid a shitload of fucking money to go there.
Right.
But the only thing that's changed in the school system in the last 100 years is the price they charge,
Yeah. Which is also bullshit.
which is big bullshit. It's
Yeah.
a business. Everything has become a business.
Everything is a business. Everything. The school system.
But what's the solution?
A big part of that solution is going back earlier to getting together. This and doing the serious damage that we can do by getting together, uniting truly, bringing each other up, and then building for ourselves.
All right, how do you do that? How do you do that?
Ooh, how do I do that? I have a gift, and it comes to me easily. I'm really in tune with my higher self, and it just lives through my heart, and it just seeps through my pores. I truly love. I truly love. I see the good in you. I feel your heart, and I want to let you know that you're in the right place and that you're doing the right shit. And that you're going places, you know what I'm saying, and that I'm here, and that I'm rooting for you, you know what I mean. I don't want to see you in pain, I truly want to see you win, and this is truly from my higher self and my heart, and I really walk into the world treating people this way. A friend of mine told me that I had a gift of disarming people. There may be some people who are reserved. Maybe they're too afraid to talk. Maybe they, look fierce. Maybe they look angry or upset, don't like talking to people or what have you. But when I'm around and when I open my mouth and engage, I do so in such a genuine and loving way that it brings, the guards down. The walls just come crashing down. So for me personally, it's just.
But is that? I mean, if I was just to guess, and if anybody hears this, or everybody that's hearing this would guess, you love yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
You accept yourself.
Absolutely. But
you wake up and you're like,
yo,
what a beautiful day. It's raining.
Yo.
What a beautiful fucking day. But there's many people that don't.
Yeah, you know what? Man, look, listen.
How do you grow to love yourself? And has there ever been a dark moment in your life?
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Okay, so first I will say thank you. Thank you for acknowledging. Thank you for seeing me. This is also that act in the art of presence that we spoke about. Thank you for that. I really do honor myself. I really do love myself. You asked if there was a point in time where I believe you said if there was darkness.
A dark moment, in your life that you just.
The majority of my life was darkness. En route to loving myself dearly, I did not love myself. I was in such a dark place, a deep, dark night of the soul from my earliest memories in my childhood. Okay. And I was programmed in such a way. I had these cloudy lenses on. I was in so much agonizing pain every day of my life. And I was on a journey to being happy, at peace, free, and full of love for myself. And with all the pain that I endured, with all the darkness that I went through, I took a great inventory not only of myself, but of what I was surrounded by and the world that I'm living in. From there, I grew a deeper in depth of understanding, not just of myself, but of the world and also of the system. I grew a great understanding of other people who are also different, but going through their shit and going through their pain. And I don't want to see other people go through pain like that without the understanding that there is light and that it is possible to be love, to give love and to receive love and to win. You know, so all of that was a process en route to me today, loving myself and honoring myself truly and giving it to others, you know, with my purpose to give.
What was the moment that you said, I have to change the way I talk? Like I read one of those fucking memes, the Bruce Lee one.
Yeah.
And it says, be careful what you say about your body, because your body doesn't know if you're joking, or it doesn't know the difference between a joke and the truth.
That is so true. The mind is very powerful.
The mind. So if you talk bad about your body,
yeah,
your body's going to respond to that.
Yeah.
But when was the moment? What took place? Like, it doesn't matter how dark it got.
Yeah.
What was the moment that you said, wait, I don't love myself, or I don't care about myself, or I'm distracted with everything else and impressing other people. Like, what was that moment?
Ooh. What was that moment? I will say I had a moment. I was living, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, by the way, and I was living in Brooklyn with my sister, and I was studying media arts at Long Island University, and I went to go see a play where Blair Underwood was performing. My college professor, who's also a great friend and mentor, you know, she invited me to the show. We went backstage and kicked it with him. Brilliant, you know, beautiful guy. Very, very amazing in his craft. And also just being around him and hearing his words inspired me to do better for myself. You know, that was another period of darkness in my life, and I was also unhealthy and overweight, and, you know, I was smoking cigarettes and shit like that, and I said, you know what, I'm very capable and I want better, and I'm just starting now. Like, I'm just going to go on a different, you know, nutrition plan. I'm going to get on a fitness plan, and the wheels are going to start turning now for me working for myself, you know.
Nice.
And mind you, this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was still growing through life in a deep darkness until quite recently, where I lifted the veil. I remembered who I truly are, who I truly am, you know, universally, you know, with my higher self, and truly started undeniably just loving and adoring myself, you know. But I would say that was a big pivotal moment in my human body to take action, to start to change, to take.
And you did this sober, like you didn't do ayahuasca or DMT or any drugs.
Sober.
You didn't go through that. That's amazing. That's even more powerful.
Yeah, I've had my experiences though. Like I've done plant medicine with shrooms actually. So I've had several times where, you know, I've done that, and I've tuned in even deeper, you know, to my higher self, and, you know, all that is, you know, and I've gotten great inspiration from that as well. But those big pivotal moments in my life, you know, yeah, that was sober. I feel like my whole life I've been on a journey to remembering myself, you know, out of darkness and despair, you know, from childhood, I ran away from myself and I numbed myself. And then I've been on a journey to be able to feel again and in search of my truth and to remember myself. I've always been on this journey, this marathon, you know, to get to that place. And I've had several pivotal moments of epiphanies and awakenings and openings, you know, to take actions of great change.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What brought you to LA? Because you're originally being from Brooklyn.
Yeah, so from Brooklyn, New York, and I was finally inspired to make that move, you know, as an artist, you know, as an actor, voiceover artist, you know, music, and just everything across the board. But the first love, you know, was acting, which led to voiceover, and also music's in my bones as well. So, you know, I practice that as well. You know, singing classes in the past year, been doing damage with that. writing, rapping as well. But the foundation has been, film and television with acting, which led to voiceover.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good. That's fucking big business.
Yeah.
I heard it's changed a lot. I got some buddies of mine.
What do you mean, like in the past year?
In the past 5 years,
Okay.
the whole acting and TVs and, how they pay and how they book and, what they're looking for and requirements. And it's just completely fucking changed.
Yeah, and in regards to what they're looking for and requirements, it's bullshit, especially when you think of the role of a producer and culture and pop culture, what is popping now in pop culture? Who do we need to please? So we're going to
Who do we need to please?
You see what I'm saying? So we're going to make this type of film or this type of television show. We're going to cast this type of person. We're going to cast that type of person. So
fucking dumb.
So if you get turned down, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're ugly or you're a piece of shit or you're not great at your cast.
No, it could be because you're not ugly enough or you're
you know what I mean? And the same thing, if you get casted, it doesn't mean that you were the best. It means that, you satisfied, that mission for whatever.
Yeah, and that was a conversation I was having with a bunch of my guys that do this professionally, and they've done it professionally for many years, and they're just like, it's just, they want you to try out for something, and it's like, I know that's not what they want. Like, why are they making me jump through the fucking hoops? Because I wouldn't cast myself. I wouldn't cast myself for this. And then what I would cast myself for, they wouldn't cast because it's not what whoever the people are at this point, because I have no idea who they're,
Right.
going after. I really don't know. Like
it's crazy. Like even me, since I have such a dynamic and powerful voice and just my presence, and oftentimes I've been hard to cast because it's just overwhelming.
Yeah,
it's like like all of that shit is great, but it's like damn, but where do we put you? Or we don't want you to overshadow this, or what have you.
Yeah, I could see that.
So it's very interesting.
It's like the guy that does the Allstate commercials.
Yeah,
like he can't really do other commercials now because it's so branded.
Yeah,
which is same thing. It's back to Saved by the Bell, Screech, or Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
They played these roles that was so. What's the word?
Typecast.
Typecast? Is that
typecast? Yeah, it's like you play this role so very well. There's so much power and intention in that role. It's like we only see you in this type of role. So it's
that's
typecast.
it. And I think that happened to Steve Urkel. I can't remember his real name.
Jaleel White.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know he tried to come back and he did some like really cool stuff, and he's a great actor.
Yeah. Really great.
Screech, same thing, Screech was fucking like, he went from being this character, and then after that, his life kind of just crashed, and then I think he went into porn.
Oh shit!
Like fuck, what else? What is he gonna do?
Yeah,
like what the fuck?
Gotta pay the rent. Gotta pay the rent.
Shit,
something strange for some change, man.
Yeah, man. So like the rent was too damn high. So
the rent was too high. They weren't giving me work. What you want me to do?
What you want me to do? So he did that for a minute, and then it just happens, and that happens with the voice, that happens with comedy, that happens with serious characters and stuff. It's interesting. This is the first time in my life, after hearing their conversation, I was like, man, this is like they're having normal problems like people have at a job,
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I was like, you know what? This is the first time in my life, and I've lived in LA my whole life.
Yeah.
That I was like, you know what? I want to do some voiceovers, or I want to do some acting, or I want to jump into something, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So now I'm starting to inquire that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a great opportunity right now.
Oh, absolutely. And
it's always been a great opportunity. It's just there was something in my mind saying, I can't do it because blah, 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 blah.
I mean, I'm a believer that you can do whatever you put your mind to.
100%.
I mean, it's so fucking cliche, but it's so true.
It's very simple. Yeah, you're right. It's cliche, but it's so simple to fucking do.
Yeah, and we can make it complicated, or we can simplify it and make it simple. So we also have the choice to make it difficult or make it simple.
But people like complicated shit.
Yeah.
People like drama. People like prop.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. People like lies and stories.
Yo,
you know,
it's all we've been told is lies.
It's
and
all
stories
we've been told.
On the news, on the weather.
People love that shit
on film and television.
I'll give you a simple,
and it's called a program for a reason. A program,
right? It's a program, exactly. I'll give you a perfect example. You know, when I was working full time and had a job and fucking had to show up and this that.
Yeah.
If I showed up late because I was partying last night and I was drinking with my friends and having a good time, and I showed up to work late, and my boss was like, "Hey, you're late."
Yeah.
You know, and I'd be like, "I'm sorry, I was out with my friends. You know, we got carried away.
Yeah.
I went to sleep late, and that's irresponsible. Like, I would eat a shit sandwich.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And that's stupid. And this, that, for telling the truth.
Yeah.
But if I came back and I was like, the tire for my car blew out and it spinned and it caused an accident, and there was some. What? And then what happened? Oh, well, and you start telling the story.
Yeah.
People entertain that more than the actual truth.
Yeah.
And people it's the coffee cup's right here, but people will go around the table and like people like complicated shit.
Yeah. Yeah. The truth is unacceptable. Let's talk about that.
The truth is
fucking unacceptable,
right,
and we're in a drought of honesty and compassion. Where's the compassion? Where's the compassion? So people are having a hard time being honest. The truth is unacceptable.
You know how many times I've had an incident, and I was at 100% honesty where I was like, "It's okay."
Yeah.
And people just twisted it on me. Yeah. And I'm like, like there was one time, I'll never forget this. I was 14, 15 years old. I had a Casio calculator watch. And it was the calculator one, but the stainless steel one.
Yeah.
And I'm playing basketball with this kid. And this kid slaps my fucking wrist. The watch falls off, cracks.
Yeah.
And the kid goes into a deep, I'm sorry. I'm like, bro, it's okay. Yeah. He's like, bro, I'm so sorry. Your watch. I go, dude, it's okay. It's like, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah.
Bro, I feel so bad. I go, hey, let's continue playing. Don't worry about it. He goes, it was broken already, huh? And I go, what? He goes, well, you don't care. It must have been broken. Oh, your watch was already broken. And I'm like,
what?
What just fucking took place here?
What are you talking about?
This has happened to me a few times where I'm just like, dude, I'm not, fucking TV. You break my TV. It's like, bro, I got insurance. You know, like I'm all about extended warranties and fucking insurance, and especially when you deal with people like that.
Let's make that clear.
But you break this, like, fuck, I get it, man. It wasn't intentional. You know, I'm not, bro. I was at a casino not too long ago, and I hit a jackpot, and I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little tipsy. I won. I know how I am.
Yeah.
I give it to my boy. I go, bro, whatever you do, don't give me this money. Give it to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's it. Just hold my money. Will you hold my money?
Yeah.
Cool. This guy, let's just say he invited some unwelcoming people into his room.
Yeah.
And they roofied him or whatever. They took his shit. Yeah. They took the money. Yeah. They took everything.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, he called me up in the middle of the night. He's like, Robert, they took everything. I go, what do you mean? Like they took everything. I had, and like it was just a mat. And I showed up and I go, bro, it was a fucking jackpot. Yeah. Like, it is what it is. And he paid, like he got it. He got it. But I did the same thing.
That's a beautiful superpower to have, though. Your responses in those situations.
It's too much sometimes. It really is, because he came through and was like, let me make it right.
Yeah.
But 99.99999% of the time, that shit bites me in the ass, man.
Yeah.
Either people don't take responsibility for their actions, or they think, oh, you didn't care.
Yeah.
It's like if I give you something.
So we have to have a balance.
You got to have a balance. You know what I mean? And I don't have that balance, because if you give something to people, people think because you give it away, you never appreciate it.
Yeah, you don't want to be on polar. You don't want to be on a opposite end of the spectrum. This polar opposites where you're a hothead and you're losing your fucking mind and just going crazy, and then you have this part on the other side of the spectrum where you're just full of peace and love and light, and you're just letting everything just run you over. You need to have great balance. You know what I mean?
You gotta have a great balance.
But you have the compassion and you understand that shit happens, so you don't lose your mind.
Bro,
but at
I've
the same
lost
time,
it all. I've lost it all and got it back and lost it all and got it back. Like, I've been through it.
And that's also love and respect for yourself too, with the balance. You see,
Right.
you see what I'm saying? When you have that balance, depending on the situation, you're not going to let that shit slide.
Right.
But you'll also watch how you handle that. You know what I mean? Even if you do go off, it's okay and it's valid. But yeah, you know, with that proper balance, you know, that comes with a lot of love and compassion for yourself.
Yeah.
So there's levels to the shit.
And like I said, in many cases that I'm cool about it,
Yeah.
people don't take responsibility. And I don't expect them to.
Yeah.
I tell them it's cool.
Yeah.
But this guy came through. And when he
That's
did,
great.
it felt so good. And I was like, wow, bro, like
That's amazing.
that is amazing. Okay, let's talk about vegan. That
Yes.
shit's crazy.
Yeah,
Wild.
man.
What is this, man? What is a vegan?
Man, what is a vegan? A vegan.
I remember. I got to tell this story once.
Yeah.
I remember 15 years ago, I
Yeah.
met this guy, Cuban dude, and he's
Yeah.
like vegan, and I'm like, what, man? He's like vegan, and I go, what the fuck is that, man? He's like, bro, just no animal product, no blah
Yeah,
blah blah
yeah.
blah. He just got detailed into it, and I go, why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
He goes, Robert, there's so many girls that are vegans right now, and there's guys that are not vegans, and these chicks have vegan parties.
Yeah.
And I'm the only dude there, and this guy had some big goofy fucking ears. And he
Yeah.
goes, he had big little ears. He had some weird fucking ears.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, these vegan parties
Yeah.
are insane. These girls are beautiful. And this was 15 years ago, and I was like, fuck that while I'm
Yeah.
eating a hamburger. Like, that's
Yeah.
dumb. Like, pussy ain't that important. Anyways,
Yo.
so
That's an amazing segue. So what is a vegan? Oh man, yeah, a vegan is one who doesn't consume animal byproducts.
but it's deep. Like
It-
it's even like certain mushrooms, like things that have eyes or senses.
You know
I
what?
don't know.
I used to. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I'm not perfect. I used to overly obsess of, is this, truly 100% vegan? Like this, that, and the third, the factory, all this, and then it got to the point where I didn't have time for that. Not at this point in my life. I don't have time to fucking obsess over everything.
yeah.
But yeah, it goes deep. I mean, it's very particular to what makes a product vegan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me, with my journey, I would say I started veganism maybe a good solid around
Veganism.
maybe 5 years ago in New York City. And prior to that, I was kind of dabbling. I was off and on because I wasn't ready. That's something big to transition to. And, this is what we learned. This is how we were indoctrinized. This is how we were raised. This is what our palate and our taste buds are used to, what our brain, what our body's used to. So it was such a big transformation. So to a lot of people, it's like, whoa, like that's fucking huge. I don't know if I could do that. But for me, I was just intrigued in regards to being mindful of what you put in your body, not just for the physical benefits, but also mental benefits and even spiritual benefits of you cleansing yourself and clearing your energy. You know what I mean? So in regards to physicality, for, less inflammation, less prone to disease and what have you, as in regards to the mental aspect, really just clearing your mind a bit more, and even spiritually too, because energy's everywhere. You see what I'm saying? The animals, who are about to get slaughtered, carry that energy into the food. You know what I mean? So for me, it's all the way, just physically, mentally, and spiritually. I just wanted to get on this journey to cleanse myself.
It was not just. It's not all about the animals. It's the animals and yourself and everything.
Yeah. For me personally, for everybody, it's different. For everybody,
there's some people that's like it's the animals. The animals.
Yeah.
Like, period,
Yeah. For some people, it's just about the animals. For some people, it's just spiritual or whatever. For some people, it's just their body and their fitness. For me, it's everything. You know what I mean? So I made that decision like maybe around 5 years ago. And for me, like I said, it was hard. I was like in and out of it. I couldn't really commit.
You mentioned. Sorry.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were kind of overweight at some point in your life.
Yeah.
But was that the time you did the change? Or
It was prior. It was prior to the change. It was prior to the vegan change, man. I was eating whatever. I was eating as late as I wanted to. I was eating.
80s, 90s, man.
I was
Come on.
eating in abundance. You know what I mean? So That was way prior to the veganism, when I was overweight, man.
Do you remember a commercial from McDonald's that said McChicken nuggets now made with real chicken?
Yo, that's fucking crazy.
Do you remember that commercial?
I remember that shit. That's fucking
that shit
crazy.
Stuck with me like
that's fucking crazy.
Like what the fuck was it before?
So that too,
right?
That too. That's why I'm here now doing this,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
That shit's fucking crazy.
It's fucking
now
crazy.
Made
even
with
the
real chicken.
Even the shit that is real. How was it prepared? How was it prepared?
Right, and now it's made with real chicken and what? And what part of the chicken? Like,
you know what I'm saying? Is it clean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Was there a big cyst that you scraped off and just rinsed and then put it in the package and said, "Here you go"?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and this is why I'm here.
It would probably be very easy to convince me to go into becoming a vegan. What fucks me up is there is a lot of misinformation, and the information's been changing around veganism.
Yeah.
One thing is, like, would I do it for a cleanse? Absolutely. I'd try it for 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. I'm sure that'd be very good. But there's that whole thing, like, it depends on your genetics. It depends on, for example, like if you come, like people from Greece, they eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and salads and blah, blah, blah. If you come from another part of the world where it's like a lot of meat and stuff like that, genetically, you have to prepare
genetically
because your body's going to accustom. The other thing is if you're going to do it, you got to do it the right way, especially if it's going to be a lifestyle change. You need, and we talked about this, you need supplements, you need iron, you need protein.
Absolutely.
And the misinformation that I'm talking about is some people to say that, a cup of blah, blah, blah has this much amount of protein, but it's like amount of that cooked or pre-cooked. Because when, beans are not cooked, it's a lot of beans. And when beans are cooked, it's different. So there's a lot of confusing.
I get what you mean. Like, especially with beans, they take on a new shape and they expand.
You see
what I'm saying? So I feel you.
So you Google and they'll be like, oh yeah, cup will be fine. Well, a cup of cooked beans is doable, but uncooked beans and it's uncooked. So it's like double or triple. You know what I mean? So and
I'm like that. I'm all into. I'm like that. I eat fucking raw. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I eat my Beyond Meat and the substitute bullshit. And I do that, but I do a lot of fruits and vegetables too. And in regards to like beans and legumes, I love lentils because for me, lentils are good. They're also easy to eat.
I was raised on lentils.
Yeah. So for me,
with
like
ham in there. God damn it! The ham bone and shit.
The bone.
Yeah.
You get all the flavor, get all the juice, man. But like for me, like I'll eat that shit raw. Like even spinach and my greens, I'll eat it raw, no dressing.
Would you recommend it for everybody? Like literally, can you say, I wish the world was all vegan because it'd be good for everybody? Or
oh man,
you don't even get involved with that. And you're like, fuck that, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't gotten involved on it. I haven't gotten involved with it and to each their own, that mentality because of how the world is, because of how people are. Right. And we really have to be compassionate and love each other for who we are.
Period, yeah.
You know what I mean? On the other hand, I would like the world to have a greater understanding, to be curious to at least learn and to maybe try it. So I'll say that.
I'm just kind of blurring this out, but
please.
I think if the planet continues to grow at this rate, where we're 7 billion and growing.
Yeah, we've been 7 billion for how long? For a long time.
Not too long, man.
Really?
Yeah, not too long. I would say 5 years. I think 5-6 years ago we were at that 6 point something.
Okay.
And now we're at 7.4. Yeah, India and China are they're having a lot of kids.
Yeah.
But if it definitely, because that's happening, I think this is going to be the only way we can survive. Is plant-based foods.
Yeah.
Raw. etc.
Yeah.
It's just the problem is the more the population grows, it's still hard. It's hard to be at 100% organic. It's hard to grow this much food for the population. Raw and organic. It's almost impossible.
Is it really hard, or did they tell us that it's hard?
It's very hard.
Okay.
It's very hard because if you look at the life expectancy of vegetables and salads and tomatoes and the turnaround time of when they pull it out and grab more.
I got you.
Plus the demand, plus what doesn't sell. It's really impossible.
Yeah.
Unless if everybody started growing their own stuff.
Let's talk about that.
And then let's
talk about that. Then it becomes very much easy and impossible. Why do you think people don't learn enough about this, and why people aren't eager to start doing this themselves?
Because we're in a society.
Aren't there also some laws that prevent people from fucking collecting rainwater or growing shit in their own yard? Aren't there laws?
There is, but there you don't even need a yard anymore. I mean, I had a grow box.
Yeah,
and it was like a fucking safe, and it was a grow box, and I had basils and tomatoes, and it's just.
But why do you think it's illegal in some places to collect your own rainwater or to grow your own shit? Why do you think that shit like that is illegal?
Because it's all a fucking system, man. It's just a profitable system.
It's a system. Yeah,
that's just trying to manipulate and control everything. I read an article, I don't know, a few years ago. This guy bought a piece of land next to a river, had a trailer, solar panels, was off grid on his land. Yeah. They fucking came to him, police. They're like, you can't do this. The electric companies are like, if you don't fucking put in power cables and blah, 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 and if you don't run this. And he was, to top it off, like I said, he was a veteran. He was a fucking veteran. He's like, this is bullshit, but he can't live off the grid on his property.
Yo.
What the fuck is going on?
And the way that, the system really insults people's intelligences and how people allow it is fucking insane. It happens all the time. Give an example.
I agree with what you're saying, but how? Like, give an example.
Oh man, what's a good example?
Because what I think of is when you do something that supposedly is not right or illegal, but it's not illegal. It's just the cops are kind of bullying, or the city's bullying. We kind of lay down and don't fight for what's right. Because we're like, I'm not going to fight the whole system. It's impossible. Like something like that is what you're saying?
Something like that, but I feel like it also goes even deeper to, big world events, shit that happens, world events, elections, presidencies, miscountings of votes and, natural disasters and shit that happened. And
that's one thing I liked about Trump.
Yeah.
That when Trump became president, one thing that I did like was, or one of the main things that I liked is, when he came in, he was like, fake news. And everybody was like, what the fuck is fake news? What is this guy saying?
Yeah.
What is he saying? Fake news. Fake news. Anyways, by the time he was done, we're like, fuck, the news is fake, man. That's fake news, and that's bullshit. And vegans are now, eating humans because fake news. He brought out fake news.
Yeah.
He legitimately did that.
Yeah. And that's another example that's tangible to think of in this moment, fake news. You know what I mean? Insulting people's intelligences and just fucking lying to you.
And it's so much of it. It's fake news and it's misinformation. I'm going to bring up a topic that's kind of again, I'm not taking sides, but the whole Ukraine war.
Denzel also said it too. He said a reporter asked him somewhere on the red carpet at an event. I think the reporter asked Denzel something about the news, and Denzel said, if you don't read the news, you're not informed. But if you read the news, you're misinformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's strong.
Yeah.
That's strong. And I'll give you an example of what I know.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not taking sides.
Yeah.
But the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. One thing that I hear about misinformation is Russia shoots a missile and it hits a hospital. Russia's fucking a disgrace. What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's terrible. What I hear from, I know people from Ukraine. I know people from Russia.
Yeah.
I heard this from a Ukrainian. Well, number one, those hospitals and schools are like abandoned, number one. Number two, Ukrainians are putting rocket launchers in between the schools and the hospitals, you know? So they're hiding. And when Russia is trying to like shoot one, if they miss, they hit the hospital or they hit the school. You know, it's not because they're shooting a hospital or school. It's because they're using them as bases in a sense.
Yeah.
If Russia hypothetically wanted to destroy Ukraine, they would send no soldiers. I think they're at what, 8,000 Russian soldiers dead?
Yeah.
They didn't have to do that. They could have just put their soldiers back here, fly a shitload of jets, and blown up the place. But they're not trying to do that. So anyways, the point is, you hear the news, oh my God, this is happening, that's happening. And I know it's an extreme, thought, but it's we're so misinformed.
So misinformed, the shit that's going down, what are they lying?
No idea.
What are they lying about? What are they twisting? Are there certain things that are being put out as distractions? We also have to keep that in mind. Are there certain things happening and put out as fucking distractions? Not only that, there's a lot of.
What do you think is the agenda of this whole thing?
What was this whole thing?
The Ukraine, Russia, and it almost seems like United States is instigating more like.
I would say that perhaps it's the next step on the bigger agenda for New World Order. New World Order. Shit has to happen. Shit has to get fucked up and blown up.
That's kind of like the.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like the shit has to tumble. Shit has to happen. Shit has to be blown up and fucked up for people to allow powers that be in government to continue to even more so misuse their power, change things, twist policies and change the world. And I feel like for whatever their agenda is. So I feel like, in the big picture, it could just be a next step to a New World Order.
That's kind of like the WikiLeaks in 2013 that it talked about how countries, I think it mentioned the U.S., but how countries in general practice human sacrificing.
Yeah.
And part of human sacrificing that they do it is by creating disease and creating war and pandemic and now war.
And also fear is the ultimate weapon.
And then fear is the ultimate weapon.
Also with everything, with these steps that are being made, throughout history and recent history, there's also a lot of fear that's being used, and fear is the greatest weapon.
Yeah.
And with great fear, not only are you going to be more easily swayed, you are also going to turn even more of a blind eye to the mistreatment, to the mispractices, to manipulation, and for them to even more boldly misuse power. Fear, greatest weapon. False
evidence appearing real.
Yes.
I heard that in I heard that in what do you call it? Great movie, by the way, too. The Rock and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I have.
That's a great fucking movie.
It is.
I watched it the first time. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
For some reason, I watched it the second time. I was like, this is really fucking good.
Yeah.
It was so good. I watched it a third time.
It's been a minute. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Watch it again.
Okay.
I'm sure you're gonna think it's the greatest movie ever.
Okay.
It got so deep because it's so deep that you can't get it on the first round.
Okay.
And you watch it again.
Okay.
And the fact that it says everything that happened in this movie is based on a true story.
Yeah.
The fact that they have that reminder an hour and a half into the movie when it's just shit show crazy and it's like, remember, this is based on true story. You're like, what the fuck this is crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. Watch that movie. My favorite movie of all time is LA Confidential. That's my favorite script, my favorite acting.
So why is that your favorite movie?
What's that?
Why is that your favorite movie, LA Confidential?
Because the script, the writing, the actors, the time, I like Los Angeles during that time. Kevin Spacey for that time. Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
It's an old. That has to be like the top of Hollywood, like an old gangster police movie, corrupt police movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they get busted. You know, like it's it's cool. It's like it's almost like super gang. It's almost like Wise Guy. Hey, you know, like it's I don't know. I
Crazy.
And then L.A. during that time was the top of L.A.'s time.
Yeah.
Both the time when they filmed the movie and the time of the movie, because I think the movie's like in the 60s, 50s, 60s, but they filmed it in the 90s.
Okay.
So have you seen LA Confidential?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, one of the best scripts ever.
Okay.
Script-wise,
Yeah.
Story-wise, acting-wise,
Yeah.
fucking so on point, man. I've seen that movie a shitload of times. Strong fucking movie.
I'm gonna check that out.
You should. You should. I would go back to both those because Pain and Gain is fun because of the fitness.
Yeah.
But then you see how, you know, it was based on a true story, and it was you know, Mark Wahlberg's character. Like, I'm fucking buff, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking strong, and I'm broke. This is bullshit. Look at this fucking weak fucking Jew, and he has it all. I should be getting all the girls, you know, like, and it's deep, man. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's dark. That's how I describe it.
And that's the thing too about darkness. You know, it's real shit. The thing about darkness is that like this shit exists and it's real shit, and it's like, why is it there?
Do you remember that movie at all or no?
I do.
Okay.
I do remember. And this is a segue into one of my favorite movies. Do you remember the reboot of the Planet of the Apes in the 2000s? What was it? Maybe like around 2010, maybe, where they had, I think they were in San Francisco in the movie.
I remember. No, I remember the New York. I always remember the fucking Statue of Liberty buried into the fucking ground.
Yeah. Okay. Watch Planet of the Apes. There was one where Mark Wahlberg did, you know, a while back. I think in the early 2000s maybe, and then they did a reboot. I think like maybe in the 2010s, and it was based in San Francisco. Great film. Watch it. Let's talk about it.
What year was that one?
Ooh,
you don't know?
I don't know. Let me
Google Magic.
Yeah. Let me see. Planet. But what made that?
Because there's a lot
so
of
dope.
them. Like I remember watching the original one when I was younger.
Yeah,
I mean,
I saw that too.
Yeah.
But what's dope about this Planet of the Apes is that they put so much life into the situation, into the particular ape that we were focusing on. And for me, I was saying, oh my God, like this is real shit for people that they're putting, you know, into this scenario of this ape. If only we had the gift of not needing a film with these metaphors to see life this way and each other this way, to have a greater, deeper understanding, compassion, and love. I'm just going to say that. Watch the film. Let's have a conversation about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's... So for me, that's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always done pretty successful. The Planet of the Apes, the again, the acting, the writing, and it's funny because it's like it sometimes has been in that category of horror. Like, oh my God, this is crazy because they get fucking crazy. But there's been a few of them, so you got to tell me exactly which one.
Okay, so this one is called The Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Got it.
2011.
Okay.
2011, Rise Planet of the Apes.
I might have watched it, but I will watch it again.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
I will. And what's your second favorite?
Ooh, second favorite. I always go to that one because of how powerful that one is for me and for the world and society. Second favorite, I got to think about that one.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you about that one.
And I got to go back to the LA Confidential.
Yeah.
It's just another reason it's a go-to for me.
Yeah.
There's no special effects.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking story, a good script, good actors.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole corrupt police thing happening, and they're trying to. It's like a dog chasing his tail. It's just there's so many. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. Okay, and now into fitness. How many times do you go to the gym?
I'm usually in there 4 days on, 1 day off. So if you think about it, like within a week, you could probably say maybe 6 days a week. depending on how you want to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like every other day or
Back to back. So back to back, 4 days in a row. I'll take 1 day off.
Back to back, got it. And then
4 days in a row again, 1 day off. So I'm there most days.
Yeah.
Pretty much every day.
That's fucking pretty good.
Yeah. I feel like at this point now in my recovery and my strength.
What's your routine?
My routine, I mean, I have a split where I'll start with legs. I used to pair that with shoulder accessory, to continue to build the foundation. The second day would be just straight shoulders to work on the upper foundation, just like we would work on the lower foundation. The following 2 days, I would switch it up every training cycle. So, for example, I'll have back and biceps, then chest and triceps.
You too perfect, bro.
Another
vegan diet,
man. Come on, man.
Up and down,
man. Listen, I don't play
left and right,
man. I don't play, man. The next cycle I would have, buys and tries, back and chest. Another cycle I would have back and tries, chest and buys. So those last 2 days I will switch up every cycle, but that's how it will be with legs, shoulders, and those other 2 days.
That's fucking good.
Core cardio sauna at the end of every workout.
What's helping me, I told you when we met 2 weeks ago, this is the first time since December. Well, it's the first time ever in my life, starting December to now, I've been hitting it 4 to 5 times a week consistently. And what's helping me, everybody I talked to was like, you shouldn't do it that way.
Yeah.
But I just been working every single muscle.
Yeah.
Every day. The same muscles every day.
Is it full body?
Full body.
Full body, okay.
I do full body every day. And
that's good for some people. I used to do full body.
Yeah, I do it because it keeps me engaged.
Yeah.
So I'll sit down at the bench.
Yeah.
I'll do arms, do bench, boom, 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 do crunches. And then I go up on the bench, I hit my 3 plates.
Yeah.
I hit that 315.
Yeah.
Fucking within like 3 months, I was like, all right, I got the 315, so I'm going the right way.
Yeah.
I keep adding, like the dumbbells. One day I'll do like 30s.
Yeah.
Then I'll do 35. Then I'll do 40s. Then I'll do 45s. And I'm usually doing anywhere from 12 to 15 sets of that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll hit back, core, and then Stairmasters. My shit to go do.
But it works for you though.
But it works.
The thing too about
if I break it down, if I break it down, I'll spend the same amount of time and do 25% of what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. And like I said, whatever works for you works for you. Everybody's different. Your genetics different. Your history's different. Right. Your body's going to respond different to different stimuli. What works great for me may or may not work great for you. And I used to do full body. It's a fucking great workout. Right. You know what I mean? So
it's just people say like if you do full body, you're supposed to let the muscles, you're supposed to rip muscles if you're trying to build, and they got to repair, so you got to focus on the other muscles.
Yeah.
But then I really looked deep into that, and I was like, wow, this is a bunch of bullshit too. And in the sense of, if you're going bodybuilder, I get it.
Yeah.
But in general, if that was the case, our labor force would be fucked.
Ooh.
Because think about how many people get these labor-intense jobs, and they're picking up sandbags every fucking day and walking them upstairs and throwing it and grabbing another sandbag. Like for thousands and thousands of years, we've been doing this.
Yeah,
pushing shit with our legs.
It's bullshit.
Wearing heavy ass boots, wearing a fucking tool belt, climbing fucking buildings. Like, we would be our labor force would be dog shit if that was natural to not work the same muscle every day.
Oh, absolutely.
Our legs walk every fucking day.
Yes.
So it's
and then you have, football and rugby players who need, to use their full body to that capacity. Every
day.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a bunch of bullshit. And what's partial about that is, like I said, everybody's different.
Right.
Not only are your goals different, but you are built different. So you're gonna respond to shit in a different way, and you need certain things. So whatever works for you works for you. I've done both. I've done splits. I've done full body. I've gained strength and muscle on both splits.
Right.
Yeah. Because I know what works for me.
Awesome. Yeah.
I know what works for me now.
And you got to do that.
You know what I mean?
Do what works for you. Yeah. I think I can't recommend. You're right. I can't recommend what I do to anybody.
Yeah.
Because I think they'd get fucked up. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it really is. Especially if you're starting off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially
if you're starting off.
If you're starting off, no. You can't do what I do.
You're right.
No.
Right.
No.
And I'll say that proudly.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody. Like, my buddy's been working out. He's the one that got me into fitness. And he's always tried to do this for fucking 20 years. Mm-hmm. Another buddy of mine, he's ripped. He's fucking ripped. I've already surpassed them in weight and you know I've passed them in so many things. So I know my shit's a little crazy. My body handles it very well, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I can't tell my older brother, "Hey, do this."
Yeah.
He'll fucking have a heart attack.
Especially if you're self-aware, you know that you're working at a high level. There's only, you know, a certain type of person you can recommend that to, but also with a grain of salt because again, we're all different.
We're all different.
You know what I mean?
I didn't even realize what I was doing until a week ago. A week ago, I asked somebody to spot me. I don't like bothering anybody, you know? But I was like, "Hey, man, can you spot me real quick?" And I had two 45s on each side and a 25. And I want to do 5 of them. You know, I can do 2 of them by myself, but 5 of them, I need that. So I did 5, and the guy looked at me, and, you know, black guy ripped. He's like, "Yo, good job." Like, I was like, "You spot me?" And he's like, "You gonna do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, cool." So fucking blah, 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 blah. And he's like, "Yo, that's fucking nice." And then like 10 minutes later, I put 3 plates. And I was like, "Yo, can you spot me? I just want to do 2." And he's like, "Bro, I would never even attempt this. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Let me try." I hit it, and when I saw how his face was like blowing up, I was like, "Whoa, let me Google this shit." And I started doing like a Google search, and it says 1 to 2% of people that go to a regular gym. We're not talking about like an Olympic fucking bodybuilder. We're talking about like LA Fitness, Gold's Gym. It's 1 to 2% they can lift up 315. Average weight of person that can do that weighs 225 pounds. I don't weigh 225 pounds. And the chances of them being on some kind of steroids or supplements is going to be a little high. They don't have stats on that, but that's something you have to consider. So for me to be at 207, 208, do 315.
So you gave yourself some props.
I gave myself props.
And you have to. And you fucking have to. Please do.
Shit, I lost my mind when I read that.
And we spoke about that shit earlier too with the fucking ego. You know, not only do we all have it.
It says Right Boundless Podcast 315.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not only do we all have the fucking ego. Yes, it can be unhealthy, but it can also be healthy. There's nothing wrong with fucking being proud of yourself and making that shirt with your branding saying 315.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in
that might be a little too much. But why? Why would that be too much?
Why? You know what I mean? If you make it about other people and you want to inspire people, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Naturally.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Any supplements you take?
I do. I take a plant-based protein. I take creatine, HCl, hydrochloride. You know, for me, it's a much lower dose than the monohydrate creatine dose, and you retain less water, so I take that. I take arginine, yohimbe bark, you know, maca, ashwagandha, fenugreek.
The beets.
The beet. Did you try it?
My wife loves it.
You did. You told me she loved the beetroot powder. I was put onto that a while back. During the pandemic, I was in one of the few gyms that were still open, and there was this dude working out there in great shape, great, you know, abundant with energy, and he put me onto the beetroot powder, telling me about that, and I've been on it ever since, and it's been great. It really helps with blood circulation and energy and endurance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love beetroot powder.
Yeah, my wife's mom, she makes this Russian soup.
Yeah.
It's a beet soup.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. You just, it feels like power. It's this Russian, and it's funny because one of my Russian guys was like, "I don't know what the fuck the U.S. is instigating this thing with Russia."
Yeah.
You got to understand, Russia doesn't care about McDonald's or Starbucks or anything. As long as they have water, beets, and some meat with cabbage,
it's like that.
They will fight till the very end.
It's like that. That's hilarious.
Damn, that's fucking crazy.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's a powerful soup.
Yeah.
Fucking like, you eat that, you feel.
So you said like beets and cabbage.
It's beets, cabbage, beef, and then potato.
All right, gotcha. Let me get some of that without the beef.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want that without the potato.
Okay.
But it's strong. It's strong. There's a Russian restaurant on, Mambo's, the Cuban restaurant Mambo's in Burbank, Glendale. It's on Victory. I want to say Victory and Western.
Yeah.
Across the street, there's a Russian spot.
Okay.
And they do a good borscht. It's called borscht.
Okay.
And then they throw you can't have that. They throw sour cream in it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it's like
black
pepper, fucking delicious.
That's your shit.
Yeah, that's a good one, and it gives you the good fucking shit afterwards too. You clear out your system, you know, the beats.
Yeah.
The creatine you take, does it make you gassy?
No.
No.
Because
I've never taken creatine.
I feel like when I first started taking creatine, it would kind of turn my stomach a little bit. I think it's kind of strong to absorb. In regards to it making it gassy, I don't think so.
Yeah, because I've never taken creatine. I've taken whey protein, and I haven't done that even.
And by the way, your body naturally creates creatine. So especially if your diet's on point, you're doing the right things, you know, you actually should have your own creatine. Right. So that again, you know, is an addition, a supplement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to keep this workout routine going for at least a year.
Okay.
And then I want to start introducing stuff to just either get more ripped or there's some people that their veins show all crazy and they get buff, and I'm like, I don't want to do steroids or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
that's also a great reward to work your ass off without steroids. Like for me personally, that's an amazing reward because it just shows like the heart you have, your spirit, and your mind.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some people that need it, but I think most people that take it probably don't need it.
Right.
They just want it.
Yeah.
Cool. Any advice or anything you want to give to anybody that doesn't work out that should?
Oh man, you know the advice that I would give to anyone who doesn't work out and should is just take the leap and just give yourself the self-love in understanding that this is a never ever ending evolution to your growth. You know, and you're only going to expand yourself by getting active. You're going to help your mind. You're going to help clear your mind. You're going to help strengthen your mind. You're going to help cleanse and strengthen your heart. You're really going to help your spirit as well, because also when you work out, not only are you releasing these endorphins and these feel-good chemicals, but you're becoming more present within yourself inside your body. And then you can communicate more to your higher self. And you're not just going to use it for the fucking vanity to look good. Of course you do. I do too. But even more so, you're going to be able to do good. You're going to be able to react good. You're going to be able to feel good. And that right there is where the money is. You know, and from there, the only way is up.
Yeah, a buddy of mine always says, I work out because I feel good. And when I feel good, I do good. And when I do good, and I just am good, whatever. And then I'm going to add one more thing to that. I read an article that if you show up to the gym for just 5 minutes for 30 days, you'll see muscle development and some weight loss. And it's not just because it's
just 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes.
Really?
For a person that doesn't work out, there was a new study. For a person that's never worked out, it's the simple fact because they showed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the truth of the story is that they don't go just for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you go with the mentality of just going for 5 minutes, that 5 minutes turns into 15 minutes.
Exactly.
And next time it's like 20 minutes.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, that
the point of the story is show up.
Just show up. And I tell people that all the time, especially when they're having a bad day and it's not going too well. I say, listen, you made it here, you showed up. You already won half the battle, and it's an amazing reward. You just celebrate yourself, and then when you finish and go home, just be proud that you fucking did it and you showed up.
That's right.
And those are the days that count, the days that are hard, the days that you don't want to show up, not just to the gym, but in other aspects of your life. Those are the days that are going to try and test you and to mold you into that gym and to make you a winner.
I bet you this has never happened to you. I'm being very sarcastic, by the way. Have you ever pulled up to the gym and just sat in your car like, fuck, man.
I've done it.
Started going through your social media. And then finally, after like 15, 20 minutes, you walk in. And it's the greatest workout you've had all week.
I've had that happen to me. Where I'm sitting in my car for a few minutes. I'm like, fuck. And then I got to warm up. I'm like, fuck. And then I get into the workout, and then you start really getting into it. And it's weird how that happens on those days. And when you're tired, you didn't sleep well, you weren't feeling it, you're putting up the best shit.
You're putting up the best shit.
You're doing the best work. And again, those are the days that count. When you discipline yourself to just show up, you never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
And those are the days that are going to help
mold you
into those beautiful gems. Gems are formed under pressure. So everything that we go through in life, the gym is a metaphor.
Right.
In regards to everything that you grow through in life.
The gym is a metaphor.
The gym, everything about the gym, our health and fitness lifestyle, in and out the gym is a metaphor for life. For your mind, for your spirit, how you're showing up within yourself, showing up with each other into the world, what you're giving out into the universe. That the gym lifestyle is a metaphor, my friend. So in regards to everything inside and out of you, just show up. Show up and do the best, and understand that
it's not a luxury, it's a necessity.
Oh, absolutely. And the most beautiful gems are formed under pressure.
I didn't know, it's weird because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I genetically, I've been in decent shape.
Yeah.
A little, chubby, whatever, but
yeah.
never been fat. And now it just blows my mind that when I go to the gym and I see skinny people, really fucking skinny, they shouldn't be at the gym. They're at the gym.
Yeah.
And I go, oh shit.
Yeah.
And fit people, they're at the gym.
Yeah.
And out of shape people, they're at the gym. Unhealthy people are at the gym.
And I champion people too. I love seeing people who are out of shape at the gym, because I have so much understanding, compassion, empathy. Again, as a part of my purpose and my superpower.
Yeah, it must be so hard for them.
And for me, it's like I understand that it must be hard for you, and I'm fucking proud of you for fucking showing up and doing your best. So like in my mind, and I see these people, I'm like, yeah, get that shit in. Yeah. Like I love seeing it. That's me.
I'm laughing because the only thing that I don't know, I think it's just fucking hilarious. It just crosses my mind.
Yeah.
I chant people on. I have respect for everybody. Fucking, I love people.
Yeah.
The only thing that annoys me is when a couple work out together.
Yeah.
That shit drives me crazy, man.
Why?
Because I don't know, man. It's just like, it's like.
Does it annoy you that they're working out together and not taking it seriously, or just
no? They're
overall?
taking it serious.
Okay.
They're taking it serious.
Okay.
But it's like if the girl's super hot, you know. Like, you don't like, because I'll look at some girls. I'm like, oh my God, man, motivate. Oh, this girl's hot. Fuck this.
Put that shit up.
And it's motivation. But then it's like, dude, your girl's hot, but you're fucking. And then you're like, do you even lift, bro? Like, why are you with this weak man? And I'm kidding, but these. It distracts you from. It distracts you in a weird, unproductive way.
I feel you.
Where if you see like even if you see a buff dude, you're like, dude, all right, that motherfucker, that's motivation.
Yeah.
That's motivation. You see a hot girl that's in fit, that's motivation. You see a couple and they're like, and then they're just I don't know, man. That one gets
You know what? And now that you say that, I see where you're coming from. It's kind of distracting of the overall mood of motivation.
It's a distraction to the whole gym operation.
Yeah. Okay. I feel what you're saying. There's a certain energy, a certain type of motivation, and that's like just a distraction.
Energy and motivation.
There's a certain energy and motivation, and it doesn't really fit.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Because it's like people are there to get their fucking fitness on, and then you see these people that are like, fuck it, lovey-dovey, or they're like, holding the bench for waiting for the other one to come, and then they got two spots. Like, it's just too fucking. Go to a couples gym or something. I don't know. I don't know. That's the only thing that's throwing me.
But like, we're in here to work. Like, what do you got doing?
Yeah. What the fuck is this, man? Don't have to keep like you can't go to work. You could go to work with your wife, or your whatever significant other.
Yeah.
But you can't be lovey-dovey at job. Mm-hmm. This is a work of business.
Exactly.
We're getting shit done.
I feel you.
Yeah,
when you put it into that perspective, that makes sense. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, that's why I was kind of laughing, but then like I really meant it. I'm like, why the fuck am I laughing? I mean this shit.
Well, you laughing but cracking. That's what we call it.
So if you if you one of those couples, stop that shit, man. At least be on like separate floors and shit.
Real shit.
Yeah, but I think we're good, man.
Yeah,
we'll close it up.
Let's close it up, man.
Anything we missed?
There's nothing we missed, man. We free flowing. Come on, man.
Thank you, Freedom.
No, thank you for inviting me, and it was always a pleasure meeting with you, chopping it up with you. And you're a man, of great intention, full of love, and I honor you, my brother. It's a pleasure to meet you,
man.
Thank
you, and thank you for showing up. And
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have you again, and we'll be in touch.
Please do. Let's do it.
See you at the gym.
See you soon, man.
Cool. Perfect.
It's a good show.
Hour 35 minutes.
Woo! Felt like it was only 35 minutes. We were just going, man.
We're just fucking going.
Shit. Speaking about everything.